January 1536. A jousting lance pierced Henry VIII's armor, slamming him unconscious for 2 hours. When England's king awoke, something inside him had fundamentally changed. The athletic prince had become a paranoid tyrant who would execute wives, friends, and 72,000 subjects. The 1536 jousting accident left Henry with a festering leg wound that never healed. Medical historians now believe this chronic ulcer, combined with possible brain trauma from the fall, triggered a cascade of physical and psychological deterioration that would define his reign of terror. The impact threw Henry from his armored warhorse with devastating force. His head struck the ground beneath 1,500 pounds of falling horse and metal. Court physicians frantically worked to revive the 44-year-old monarch as Anne Boleyn received the terrifying news that her husband might be dead. Henry's desperate need for a son traced back to 1502, when his older brother Arthur died suddenly at 15. The 10-year-old Henry watched his father's grief consume the kingdom, understanding that without male heirs, the Tudor dynasty faced extinction. This childhood trauma became an obsession that would cost 2 wives their heads. The wound on Henry's left thigh became a suppurating horror that emitted a stench courtiers could smell from across the room. The ulcer burrowed deep into muscle tissue, periodically closing over and trapping infection inside. When the wound sealed shut in 1538, poison flooded his bloodstream, causing fever so severe that physicians believed the king would die within hours. On the night of February 12, 1542, guards heard strange sounds from Catherine Howard's cell in the Tower of London. The 17-year-old queen was rehearsing how to place her head on the execution block with dignity. She requested the block be brought to her chamber, practicing her final moments over and over through the dark hours before dawn arrived. The romantic narrative of Henry divorcing Catherine for love obscures a darker truth. Henry's split from the Catholic Church represented the largest power grab in English history, allowing him to seize monastery wealth worth billions in today's currency. Those who questioned his authority faced execution, including Thomas More, whose head was boiled and displayed on London Bridge as a warning to dissenters. Thomas Cromwell, the architect of Henry's religious revolution, knelt at the scaffold in July 1540 after a single month's imprisonment. The king's most loyal servant had orchestrated Anne Boleyn's execution, dissolved the monasteries, and crushed all opposition. His reward was a clumsy beheading that required multiple blows to sever his head. When Henry's coffin rested overnight at Sedan on its journey to Windsor, guards heard a terrible sound in the darkness. By morning, fluids had burst through the lead casing and seeped across the chapel floor. Dogs were discovered licking the remains of the king who had terrorized England for 38 years, fulfilling a friar's prophecy that canines would lick Henry's blood. Henry mastered the art of psychological torture through calculated unpredictability. He showered wives with affection one moment, then ignored them for weeks, creating constant anxiety about their standing. Courtiers learned that royal favor could evaporate without warning, transforming trusted advisors into traitors overnight, ensuring absolute submission through perpetual fear. The scale of Henry's brutality becomes clear in the numbers. 72,000 executions across 38 years meant an average of 5 deaths daily. Entire families were wiped out for suspected disloyalty. Villages watched neighbors dragged to scaffolds. The trauma embedded itself into English consciousness, creating a culture of silence and obedience that persisted long after Henry's corpse exploded in its coffin. Thanks for watching this dark chapter of history. If this story shocked you, hit like and subscribe for more untold historical accounts. Share this video to spread awareness of how power corrupts absolutely.